All right, when we left off last with our push buttons, we had just created a push button that would blink an LED. Um, so I'm going to start my simulation here so you can see that. I'll push this button on the right and it blinks that LED on the left and turns it on. So your challenge was with your coding was to go back and think about what you used in your SOS circuit to allow you, the one that we just did, the repeat, to allow us to make the light flash 3 times. That's the first thing. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's make this light flash 3 times when we push the button. So I'm going to go to my control and I need to use the repeat command. So I'm going to stick that in there. And it conveniently wrapped around these guys right here, which was nice. That was perfect. I needed it to do that. And I needed to repeat 3 times. So now when I hit my start simulation button, if I click on the button, it's going to flash that LED 3 times whenever I push the button. So that works fine. So the second part of the task was that we needed to finish wiring up the LED and the push button here so it matched this first one, on the outside, the outside push button and the outside LED. So I'm going to go to my code here, and I've got my LED in place, my red one. I just need to add another resistor, so I'm going to bring that out here, and I need it to match that resistor, which is 220 ohms. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to type in 220 ohms, and I'm going to take that resistor, drag it over here on the positive anode side of my LED, or my LED. I am going to connect the ground to the side of the LED to the ground, and the cathode to the ground down here. And I need to connect to another pin down here at the bottom on my Arduino. And the pin I'm going to use is 12. It's conveniently right next door to the one we were using. So I will click on that and go down here and click on that one. And I'm going to change that to red to match my LED. So I've got pin 12 and pin 13. Those are the 2 pins that I'm using. I also need to wire up my button. So I need to make it match this one. So I'm going to need another resistor. So I can click on that resistor and do Control C and then Control V to paste it, or I can go grab one, either way. So I'm just going to do the Control C, Control V for copy and paste. There is no copy and paste up here. You have to use keyboard shortcuts to make that work. That's the only way to get it to copy. If you're on a Mac, that's Command, which is the clover-looking, 4-leaf clover-looking icon next to the spacebar, or key next to the spacebar. So it's Control C or Command C, depending upon which type of computer you're on. And it's a 10 kilo ohm, 10K, 8K ohms. And we're going to do our little connector here to connect that ground over there. I'm going to make that black. And then I'm going to run my ground wire up here and make him black. And the last thing I'm going to do is I need to power up this button by connecting it to my power supply. And the other part of that, and that'll be red for power, the other part of that is that I need to connect to another pin. I will use pin number 3 since it's convenient. And I'll just come over here and connect to pin 3. And again, I'm controlling a red wire, so I'm going to make that red. You don't have to. I'm actually going to change this to a different color, this LED. I'm going to make it green. And the only reason I'm going to do that is it kind of helps for you guys to see my wiring and understand that there's a difference between powering something and controlling it. So these wires are controlling, or they are sending power to these LEDs, but they're also color coded to match the LEDs. So minor thing. On the push button, it is strictly the power coming in. So, okay, so we've got our ground. We've grounded this. We've got our, I got this in the wrong pin, so I need to click on that. It needs to be under that pin. All right, now we're good. And it probably wouldn't have mattered because these are connected here, so it probably wouldn't have made a difference. All right, looks good. So let's code that. Let's start it and just make sure it's working. So right now, if I click on this one, yellow flashes 3 times. But when I click on this one, nothing happens because I've not yet connected it. So I need to do that to make sure that I've got what I need. So in order to do that, I'm going to stop my simulation, go back to my code, and really all I need to do is just repeat my code. So I'm just going to copy and duplicate these blocks. And I just accidentally hit delete, so let me put those back. So, all right, so what I need to do is duplicate this, not delete. I hit delete. Believe it or not, I just had to go back and recode that back in because it does not allow me to undo. Undo only works over here on the circuit board area. It does not work in the coding. I've not figured out how to fix that when I make a mistake like that big one I just did. So I've created this if then else statement for pin 13. I need to also, for my orange or yellow LED, I need to do the same thing for my green one. So my green one is controlled by pin 3, so I'll change that to pin 3. When pin 3 equals high, we're going to repeat 3 times. Actually, I've got these backwards. Let me set these out here. And actually move them right above that guy. Right there. Okay. Change pin. This one is pin 12. So I'll change pin 12 real quick. And pin 12 to low. And what you don't know is that I did the same thing right here. Fix that real quick. Now we look good. So now, when I press button 1, it activates pin 2, which turns on LED on pin 13. When I push this button, it activates pin 3, turns on the LED on pin 12. So let's start our simulation and see if that works. So we've got flashing of LED for the yellow for the first button, flashing of the green 3 times for the second button. I can do that again. That works. And one more time over here on this side. Looks good. So that is your solution set for this activity. At the very end, don't forget we got the weight. Oh, you know what we did not do? We did not set this back to set pin 12 to low on the end. These should all be pin 12. The first ones are all pin 13. All right, so that's our code. That's our simulation. Looks good. Got your name on it. You've titled it. You're in good shape. Don't forget to snip all that or not, excuse me, share. Click on that share button and invite people. Copy that code and insert that as your submission in your Google Docs or Google Classroom. Thanks and have a great day.